Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. For today's video, I will be discussing fitness trends throughout the decade from the year 2010 through 2021. If you're interested, please keep watching. The start of the 2010s was such an interesting time, but it was also a very pivotal time. We had the birth of Instagram, Fitspo, #strong not skinny, hot dog legs, all leading up to the slim thick trend that we have today. Let's all go back in time to the year 2012 through 2013, and this is where we're going to be discussing the thigh gap. And it is essentially when your inner thighs do not touch when your feet are close together. Cara Delevingne was definitely the celebrity that popularized the thigh gap. She was definitely all over Tumblr during this time. Tumblr definitely went crazy over Cara Delevingne in 2012. The thigh gap was definitely one of the most controversial trends because it did encourage eating disorders. But this may be a topic for a whole separate video. The early 2010s was also the beginning stages of YouTube, specifically fitness content. If you were on YouTube during this time, you most likely got recommended a plethora of inner thigh workouts that claim to reduce inner thigh, even though there's really no such thing as spot reduction when it comes to fat loss, which is a misconception that has been around for a couple of years now. Another issue with the thigh gap is the fact that it was unattainable for most people. It mostly has to do with the length of your hips than anything, basic bone structure. Fortunately, during this time, I think we quickly realized the dangers of trying to chase after obtaining a thigh gap, which segues into the 2015 era of the strong not skinny movement. This showcased the tone/muscular figure that we are familiar with on Instagram primarily. In contrast to the thigh gap trend, which emphasized eating less in order to obtain the thigh gap, the strong not skinny movement was actually all about eating sufficient and eating a lot more and to have a much healthier body. This was also the time when working out, lifting weights became more popular/mainstream as opposed to the cardio obsessiveness of the earlier decade. This was also the first appearance of the term Fitspo, which is short for fitness inspiration or fit inspiration. A major quote-unquote Fitspo at the time was Selter. Selter definitely was one of the first Instagram fitness models that I remember coming up at the time. She definitely was one of the first people who did popularize, in my own theory, popularized the booty building trends that we see today. On YouTube, we also saw a emergence of at-home workout/strength training videos. All I saw on my YouTube recommendations were videos on Heidi Somers, aka Buff Bunny, and Nikki Blackketter. While this movement had great intentions, I did appreciate this movement during this time. It did motivate me even further to accomplish my physique goals. The main issue is that it was still a bit of a diss at skinnier body types, and it was pretty much implying that if you're skinny, you're automatically weak and you don't have a place in this movement. Now lastly, I will be discussing the slim thick trend. Where do I even start with this one? This is the most prevalent trend in the fitness world today. It consists of having a bubble butt or defined glutes, small waist, thick thighs, and a flat stomach. This trend essentially birthed having more rounded hips, aka anti-hip dips. You've most likely seen plenty and dozens of workouts that claim to quote-unquote get rid of hip dips, in which mostly has to do with genetics. I mean, yeah, sure, you can build muscle in your quads, shrink your waist, build your lats in a way that creates the illusion of having an hourglass figure, makes hip dips a lot less prominent. However, really the way to get rid of hip dips is to just get fillers. Honestly, most of us most likely did not even know hip dips or having rounded hips were even a thing until people created them to be a thing. So in other words, there was just something else that you needed to be insecure about. This was just another example of how a trend or body type took over the fitness world in terms of attainability. At the end of the day, there's just certain limitation when it comes to changing your body naturally. The slim thick trend also increased the popularity of lower body weight training, aka heavy squats, hip thrusts, all variations of deadlifts, frog pumps, cable kickbacks, you name it. In a way, we've come a long way since the thigh gap trend, but at the same time, have we really come a long way? The slim thick trend honestly was very refreshing in comparison to the skinny obsessed world that we've all, or at least most of us, have lived through in the early 2000s and even during the early 2010s. However, the issue with this trend is that the focus is disproportionately on the lower body, in training and as a measure of attractiveness. Now, do not get me wrong, alright? I love a good lower body training. It is important. You use your glutes for pretty much anything. The point I am trying to make is that lower body training isn't everything. Our bodies have more to offer than just looking pretty from the waist down. Not to mention, it places great pressure on those who do not have the slim, thick body type naturally, or those who do not have the genetics for it, to go towards other means of achieving that body, and we all know what that is. This is also a major contributor to the soft porn-like content on Instagram on the female fitness side of it. Therefore, just contributing to the male gaze of it all. Just to wrap this video up, the issue isn't desiring a certain body type through fitness. It is trying to piece together trending body parts as an attainable goal, when the reality is that the image that you created in your head on how you would like to look like will not be the reality of it. This creates disappointment when you have finally achieved your body goals, only for it not to be your body goals. Not giving yourself credit for all the hard work and therefore resorting to surgical enhancements. Disclaimer, fillers, surgery itself is not bad, but getting surgery to compare with the unattainable results that you imagine in your head is. Not to mention, compare yourself to others who have probably never worked out a day in their lives. Now, I would be lying if I said that fitness doesn't have to be about looking good, because let's be honest, fitness is about looking good. That is how you get sponsorships. That is how you market yourself. That is how you market yourself towards clientele. It is just the fact that fitness is more than how you look, especially little body types and trends that come along the way that tells you that this is how you should be looking right now because it is popular. For those of you who are just starting your fitness journey, or if you've been working out for quite some time and you have been feeling a bit down on how you look, just remember, think about fitness beyond appearance, which sounds kind of weird, right? You should definitely focus on measuring results based on how your body is changing, but don't think of your body as the thing that defines you. You define your body at the end of the day.
So what might start as a diet and exercise plan to make yourself look your personal best, which of course is a great thing to want, can end up becoming something that's much more unhealthy and takes control over your life as opposed to you having
But you're never going to stop someone's obsession to try and look good or be better, which in itself is not a bad thing.
No.
So what's that point of realization that, you know what, this is sort of the best that you should or can do, and let it go. Don't be obsessed with it.
Right. Well, my best advice for women is to stop looking at your body as an achievement, or the way that your body looks as an achievement. Rather, look at your lifestyle as the achievement and what your body can do. So don't think of it as an end goal, but rather, when you're exercising and you're eating right and you're doing all the things that can help you live till 80 without osteoporosis.
Right.
I mean, that is the goal of a body, right?